Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your main man, Caliboy Jones, and you're watching Laws Roots Network. Everybody, it's your main man, Caliboy Jones. It's Motivation Monday, and it's the morning ride. Happy holidays to you. I hope you guys enjoyed your Christmas, but we're now in the final days, the final week of 2020. From March to December, we have been up, we've been down, we lost people in and out, lost jobs, lost homes. People are starving, but at the same time, we still have hope. We have to have hope. We have to stay prayed up. We have to stay vigilant of the things that we want to accomplish in 21. 21 is right around the corner. It's a couple days away. And being that it's a couple days away, stay focused on the things that you put forward for yourself, your dreams, your goals. Hey, you still probably want to get married. You still probably want to have kids. That is still going to happen. You just have to be prayerful about it. With all those things that's going on.
All right. All right, we're going to start 1, 2, 3. Welcome to Laws Roots Network with your boy DJ Gumbo. We have a special guest today on the show. We got Mr. Caliboy Jones in the building.
That's right. What's up? What's up?
How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. I want to ask you, what is your roots? Where are you originally from?
My roots is right here in Orlando, Florida. Born and raised. Mom went to Jones. I went to Dr. Phillips, Oak Ridge.
Wow.
Kind of went to 4 of each product of going to, through school, from elementary to middle school and high school. Kind of moved around a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But been known all around the city. Made a lot of friends, a lot of connections, and I love my city.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can you tell us what inspired you to get into the entertainment industry?
It started when I was 5. I was, one of my favorite and #1 artists in the world as far as music singing would be Michael Jackson. Just watching him on the stage, it started with music before it got into television and before it got into the arts. But just watching him and dancing, watching him with performing, with interacting with the audience, people who they loved him not just because of his music, just loved him as a person. Right. So that's where it really started at, and it just motivated me as a kid with the dancing and singing, even through church. And I just wanted more. The gravitation to acting just came about watching other artists who went from a child star to an adult star, and watching their rise and their fall of fame and fortune. Right. And kind of just to try to stay away from, you learn from their mistakes so that you don't make the same mistakes.
So I actually want to get into you being an actor. I want to ask you, did you have to go through school to become an actor, or is it in your DNA?
To be honest, it is in my DNA. I did go to do it. I did it in high school. Once I got out of high school, I didn't further it more. It was something that just was natural. To be able to remember lines or to be able to do an improv. Right. You tell me what the situation is, how you want the scene to go, and I'm able to pick it up and just give you that raw, entertainment without having to say, hey, I'm gonna need you to go to class. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with going to school, but if you have it, you have it. But going to school is something that can help you fine-tune the talent that you have as an artist. When it comes to music, when it comes to acting, you have certain people, you can still be a great actor, but there's nothing wrong with going to school for it.
Yes, how's it like working on the set of the new sitcom Back to Family?
Man, first of all, shout out to Antonio King Ali. This guy is amazing. Just he saw something in me to be able to come and put what God has given me into focus, and to be able to touch other people besides just with a voice, besides with my own podcast, but be able to be on the screen. And when you're on set, it's like it's a freedom. It's like if you could be a bird and you could spread your wings and feel the wind up beneath your wings. That's what I get. It's a natural high. Being on set with people that you vibe with and you have a good chemistry, and that chemistry flows where everybody helps one another to grow. So that in itself is like, man, I don't know. My best way to describe it is just a natural high. It's just a freedom that you're able to express yourself in a way that a lot of people, the millions of people we have on this earth, that can relate to the artwork or just you as an individual.
So, if your team that you're working on the set, if they can say one thing about you, what would it be?
that my energy is unmatched. I come in routed up, trying to get everybody else routed up. I come in with, let's go ahead and get this thing out of the way. I laugh a lot, so it make everybody else laugh. Be like, okay, all right, Cali, come on, man, like, let's get it. Because it's like, as soon as I get a bug of laughing, man, I'm crying tears. I'm like, I can't catch my breath. But for the most part, it's like, you know, the energy is unmatched, and, you know, always willing to help and pitch in where I can as far as being on the set, even if it's me being the cameraman on the backside because we're down with the cameraman, or you know, coming up with ideas to how to make the set go, because I'm also one of the writers on the show as well. So that's another part that, you know, allows me to be creative, you know, bring that creativity to a platform that nobody knows who I am, but they know who I am now. You know what I'm saying? But not to the point of where I got the big head or anything like that. Keeping and always staying humble.
It's very, very important being in the industry, staying humble.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, what do you love most about being an actor?
I think if I had to use one word, it's just expression. Being able to express yourself on a different level that most people can only see you as that one person. Like, you grew up in the neighborhood, oh, he was just a quiet kid. Nah, they could never say I was just a quiet kid. I was the one that was getting in trouble. I was the one that was always doing the dangerous stuff. So for me, acting is really just about expression, to be able to tell my story the way it needs to be told, to be able to entertain people and give them something to be inspired by, so that they can go out and step out on their faith and do the things that they want to do.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your main man, Caliboy Jones. It's Freedom Friday, so jump off to the weekend, and this is the morning ride. Today's topic is let them walk. Let people walk out your life who don't mean you no good. It's a reason why they gotta walk. It's a reason why you need to walk away from them. People be in your life and they want to disturb everything good that you got going on because they can't stand to see you happy. So you got to walk away from negative people. You got to walk away from sad people, even people that you love so much, but you know they ain't doing nothing but hurting you. Hurting you on the point of...
Welcome back to Laws Rules Network. We got Mr. Caliboy Jones. Yes, sir. I want to ask you, would you rather be feared or respected?
Well, I'm not God, so I don't want to be feared. I prefer to be respected, and if, you know, to choose to be respected is that people have a level of love and admiration for you, that they respect you in different areas of your life, whether it be a person who is great at inspiring other people, a person who can motivate, a person who can show love and not be selfish with the love that you have. So I think being respected is a whole lot better than being feared. Because if somebody's fearing you, they don't want to be around you. You push people away from you more than you pull them into you.
Right. Amen. Well, what's your definition of being a man?
That's real simple. And I'm going to say this real nice and slow so that everybody hear me. The definition of being a man is one who fears God. One who is not afraid to cry. One who is not afraid to show love. One who is not afraid to say that I will do whatever it takes to help the next man come up or the next person come up. To be a man in the stature of not, oh, because you don't have a car, you don't have the finer things in life, does not make you any less of a man. But there are more things that are more important than material things. Having material things does not make you a man. Having money doesn't make you a man. You being a person who loves others, respecting others, is what makes you a man.
So, what era do you think had the best music?
The 90s.
He said the 90s.
Okay. Because I came up in the 90s. The 80s and the 90s is what I came up. That's my era. The 70s and the 60s I love. I'm not gonna lie. They had some of the most amazing music. But just to start off the whole conversation, I'm gonna jump into the 90s.
Why is that?
Man,
what made the 90s different from everybody?
It's like we had so many different male and female vocal groups. We had so many different male and female solo artists, and the music that they made, even from hip hop to pop to country. And if you don't like country, I'm gonna tell you right now, something wrong with you. Country music is popping. Just got to take the time to, you know, to listen to those lyrics. They tell real, true stories. It's just something about the sound of the '90s that, you know, that pushed the era that people go back and they take from. Like, you can listen to some of the music now. A lot of the artists, they go back and sample a lot of music from the '90s.
Right. And
I think when they say, oh, the '90s wasn't nothing, but at the same time, if you go back and sample it, I don't care if you say you ain't like it, that producer say, hey, this is what we need to do, and it's gonna get you there. You have no choice but to respect it. You can't really take a lot of music as of right now. You can sample a little music for today, but it's not as well-rounded as the '70s, the '80s, and the '90s. Right. In order for us to get to here, we had to go through those years, those decades, in order to make the music you got now. You need to go back and sample it. I think Lil Wayne said it best. When he listens to music, he listens to music from back in the day to get inspiration. A lot of artists do. They usually hear a lot of artists right now when they sample music from the Ozzy Brothers, from Earth, Wind, and Fire. From I got an artist that I interviewed, Two Fly Savvy, out in Castroville, California, and he sampled a Jodeci hit. Man, listen, the boy killed it. I mean, he kept it well-rounded to the sound of the '90s itself, but gave it a fresh spin on it. So I gotta go with the '90s.
That's what the era I was born in.
Yeah.
'96.
Yeah, that was old man. Well, just going to high school.
Yes, sir. So I got a lot of respect for the '90s.
Yeah, man.
I want to ask you, when did you create your podcast?
So for those who don't know, that are just being introduced to me, I am a professional truck driver. I have been a professional truck driver since 2003, going on 18 years. I started a podcast about 5 years ago, and it was something, being on Snapchat, since that app came around. Right. A lot of people kept saying, hey man, you got a radio voice, are you on the radio? We want to go listen to you on the radio. Right. And I'm just on the truck, driving, doing my Snapchat thing, you know, and I get those messages all the time, and it was like, no, I'm not on the radio, but if you know somebody that's hiring, any radio station across the country, let them know I'm willing to come in and do the work, you know. And I'm still willing to do the work. I'm doing my homework right now, still interviewing, still talking to people, but I just happen to be in Kentucky, coming down the mountain, I-65 at that, and I'm sorry, I-75, and man, when I tell you, I was watching The Breakfast Club on Instagram, right. And I was like, God, I want my own radio show, and I kept saying it, went to sleep, got up, Snapchat again, and then got on Instagram and saw this guy talking about, if you want to do your own podcast, you can download this app, and then you create your own podcast. Got a little nervous. I was like, okay, that must be the sign right there. So I said, okay, talking. Yeah. So if you ask God for something, believe me, when He gives it to you, you got to go ahead and take it. So I didn't hesitate about downloading the app, but I waited probably like a few days because I was nervous. Like, man, what am I going to talk about? Like, I got life experiences that a lot of people have been through and some people haven't. I have my own opinions just like anybody else. And I was like, man, I want to interview people. I want to, play a lot of the old school jams that I like, to go along with the topics that I'm talking about. And January 7th, 2017, I just got on the mic. I downloaded the app, and the name was already there. Caliboy Jones was already there because I was in a music group called Chill Mode. But then the name for the podcast, I said, I want to represent my city. I want to represent where I'm from. Naturally, we're 407. So I naturally said it's going to be called the 407 Show. And then I added live to it because when I'm doing interviews, everything I do has a level of progression. And that level of progression is every time I go live, there's another part of me that gets to come out when I'm either talking on the microphone by myself or I'm on the microphone with somebody else. Now, when me being on the mic with somebody else, the energy goes berserk because I'm all over the place. I'm excited about talking to them, glad they want to be on the show. They tell me how great I am. They love listening to the voice. And you know, it gives me such an energy vibe that I cannot deny that God gave me that gift and talent. So when I turn on the microphone or that camera, and the first thing I say, what's up everybody, it's your main man Caliboy Jones. Welcome to the 407 Show Live. I'm your host, and it comes off so natural. Like, man, you see it so well. I say, man, it took me 2 weeks to get that thing down. And now it's a natural thing, so that every time I turn on the mic, you know, that's the first thing you hear. It's Caliboy Jones, or this is the 407 Show Live. And I'm here to entertain, I'm here to interview, I'm here to get the message of the stories out to that people want to hear that seem like a very small story, right. But at the same time, if you come here, it's not a small story. You have a story you want to share, you have a testimony you want to share, you got a business you want to share, your music, you got a book, you're a doctor, a lawyer, it doesn't matter. You can get on this platform and go berserk. You can let your information be shared. So I got into where I had to learn how to create flyers. I had to learn how to do all the video, the editing, stuff that I really didn't want to do, I had to do. Because it's just me. It's me doing everything that you would see on social media, that's me. And although I want a team, this is what God gave me. He said, you wanted it? Here you go. So I had to push myself. I had some help from a couple of people who did certain apps, but then it's like I really wanted to learn myself, because you can't always depend on people. They have ulterior motives, or they say you need to do this, and you don't want people to change the direction of what God has given you. You want to stay on that vision, and you want to stay on that path. So I just kept doing it. And in the first 3.5 months, I did almost 200 shows. Wow. And those 200 shows were heard in places that I've never been but heard of, from Japan to the Netherlands, Jamaica, China. I mean, when I saw the viewership, the listenership, I said, well, I got something here. But then I always had to keep thinking, I got to have good topics and have great guests. If you're gonna call yourself something, I use the word live, even though some of the shows are pre-recorded, it did not stop the energy that was live with whoever I was talking to, even if it was by myself. I shared my own personal testimony. A lot of people called in. It's like, man, I just got through listening to your show. You know, you get that feedback. It either gonna make you humble or give you the big head. For me, it made me humble. So I couldn't do nothing but praise God. Even now, I just think about like tearing up right now. So, but it just caused me to just say that the things that you dream of doing, no matter when it started, if God gave it to you before you leave this earth, He has something for you to be able to go and do. No matter if it takes you 5 years or 50 years, He has a plan for your life in order for you to go ahead and do that. And just from where I've come from the first episode up until now, has been an amazing journey. From 5 years ago, and I'm like, man, it can only get better. So I love it. I mean, family members who listen to it, it's like, man, we listen to it, we watch it, it's like, boy, I said, all right, y'all want to come on the show? Like, no, we can't be on the camera, no, we're too shy. So, but it's all good, and I love the support of people who watch and who give me the feedback, because it lets me know that what I'm doing is making a powerful impact to them. That show in itself is not about me, it's about the people.
Yes, you have mentioned that you was in a music group.
Yeah.
Can you tell us how was that experience like? Because right now I manage a music group called Gusto Gang. Okay. And I want to get your intake on.
Well, let me tell you something. With these guys right here, these three brothers, they are a unique trio, and they all rap, they all sing, but they rap and they can write within minutes of hearing a beat. Shout out to Really Should Get. This guy here is phenomenal. If you haven't heard of the Casanova of Orlando, y'all go check out Real As You Get.
What's up, everybody? It's your main man, Caliboy Jones. It's Resurrection Sunday on this Super Sunday. Listen, today's topic for the morning ride is He's risen. Aren't you glad that He got up on the third day? Aren't you glad that He died for all of our sins, future, past, and present? He is worthy to be praised. He is worthy to talk about. He is worthy to always call on His name. See, the enemy don't like you. We're the apple of God's eye, and he's always trying to bring us down, always trying to kill us. He's always trying to rob, steal, and destroy. But Jesus came that we might have life and have life more abundantly. All we have to do is have faith. Y'all enjoy y'all Resurrection Sunday. I love y'all. There's nothing you can do about it as long as you have faith, commitment, and love. anything is possible.
You know, funky, and you know, you can get on the dance floor and dance it and still bob your head and get a message, because anything that I do, I want a positive impact to happen to somebody else. I don't want to put out music that cause people to want to go and kill anybody, make you want to be suicidal or to do drugs. Nothing that I touch has anything to do with any of the negative things. Now, if somebody sees something negative in it, it's just because you don't like me or you don't like what we're doing. Right. And that's all right. You don't have to. But at the same time, I'm not trying to put out any negative energy. We have enough of that in the world as it is. So I always want to try to put out my best and put my best foot forward when it comes to doing music. A lot of music, I just, you know, did a lot of hooks and did a few bars on the inside, but working with those guys is amazing, man. It's, you know, our group is kind of split right now because everybody's doing their own thing, but, you know, it's something that I always look forward to.
So, can you tell us about the Cali Boy Jones experience?
All right, so like I said, I'm part of the Oneness Network TV, which is directed and written, produced by Antonio King Ali out of Jacksonville, Florida, Duval County. Duval. Yeah, you can't say Jacksonville without saying Duval.
Yes, sir.
So, and meeting Antonio King in 2019, towards the end of 2019, I was on the road in Georgia, and a friend said, "Hey, I got somebody I think you would like to work with. I think y'all will work good together. He's doing some amazing things in Orlando, and he's looking for, you know, to hire some other people." So when he brought me on, the first thing he had me with was motivational speaking, and that took off as something I really do enjoy. And then we started with MSN Podcast TV, which you can catch on Hulu, Roku, and OneIsNetworkTV.com 24/7.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so, you know, that's something big on the CW17 out of Jacksonville and the CW18 in Orlando. So I am on television, and y'all can catch me every Monday, me and my co-host, Monique Blue. He had an idea, because music is something that if I don't have television, I'm good. I can do music all day long, 24/7. It's like, when I get ready to take a shower, I gotta have a playlist. I got to have some music. I don't need television. I just need a playlist of music and take that good fresh shower and get out and feel like I can take on the world. Yes, he said, "Cali, I got an idea. There's a lot of artists that are local, independent, and they're not getting their music played and not getting their music heard like they want to." He said, "I got an idea." He said, "I want to call it," he didn't want to take away from my podcast. Right. He was like, because that is really centered around Orlando. He said, let's just call it the Caliboy Jones Music Experience, where people can send in their videos. They can come and get an interview. They can also perform if they wanted to on the show, which will give them the exposure that they need when it's played on the CW, when it's played on Hulu, or wherever our, you know, our television shows and, you know, are played at and watched. He said, "What do you think about that?" I was like, I said, "That's more work," but I said, "I asked for it." So I don't want to take away from that. I said, "I asked for the extra of being a part of the entertainment business and the industry," and I was like, "Okay." It didn't really jump on me right away, because I'm like, man, I already got my podcast and I'm doing MSN Podcast TV, and we have a lot of guests that are coming through. I'm like, man, where am I going to fit that in? And then on top of that, I have kids, you know, and then I'm still driving trucks. Wow. So in my 24 hours each day, something is taking, you know, a piece of me every time. So I said, man, okay. I kept saying okay, and I'm like, man, another show. And then it started coming in, and next thing you know, once he put the information out on the internet, it just went berserk. We had a lot of artists from Miami, mainly from Miami, that was just hitting up like, hey, how can we get this, how can we get that? And then it started just, you know, working its way up in Orlando into Jacksonville. And it's like, okay, this is gonna be something. So from then, you know, we're trying to shoot in Daytona Beach, but a lot of people had a hard time making it up there. So I said, okay. He said, well, why don't we try this? Why don't we just shoot wherever they are? It doesn't have to have a specific background or setup, but it's natural, it's raw, it's about them. I said, I think that'll work. And it took off ever since then. So, you know, everybody, you know, shout out to all the artists, you know, that's in the whole state of Florida, that have sent their videos in, have been on the show, that have shared, like, man, we appreciate y'all really good, man.
So I want to ask you, what was your most favorite interview you've done on your show?
Man, they all special, man. I don't want to cut nobody out. They're all special and unique by themselves.
So
Man, I want to say the most recent one that I had with an artist. His name is Throne Kid City. Phenomenal young man. Man, I feel that same emotion, that same thing about to come up again. Just talking to this young man and his music and where he can see the music a lot more to where he can produce a lot more. And that Super Sunday interview, I had 3, and he was the second one, and it took me a minute because by the time we got halfway through the show, I felt a whole range of emotions that I felt a connection with him that was something special about him that I've interviewed a lot of people, but his interview just took me to a place that this was a God-given setup to be able to talk to him and then speak into his life. And man, I think I cried about maybe two minutes, man. I couldn't. It was a worship that was going on, like real talk. It was a worship that was going on, and his mom was watching, and I'm like reading. I'm like, oh man, I can't stop. I need. And before I knew it, my lady, she came in and brought me a napkin, and I was like, man, somebody watching, somebody helping me. And I just, it was the type of interview that you can't make up. People are authentic to who they are.
Right.
And the connection that you have with people, even during this pandemic, and we're doing a lot of internet, interviews through Zoom and over Facebook and Instagram and, Twitch and all those type of things. And I'm like, man, this here is a real catchy one. And like I said, I hate to throw anybody out that like nobody's interview was special, but it was the connection with him and how the Spirit just came in and just woosah, and I just said, okay, yeah, that's dope right there. And shout out to him. He's doing big things with his music. It's just amazing to be able to interview people who really believe in their gift and their talents. And I'll tell anybody, always be gangster about you. That's not in a negative term. Just always be gangster about your dreams, your goals, your visions, and how you feel about things. Because somebody can come in and try to tell you, oh, you don't need to do that, or somebody else tried it. It doesn't matter. There are thousands and millions of people who've probably tried some of the things, or many of the things that you want to do, thought to do, and people like to try to deter you because they can't do it, or they don't have the courage or the faith to go behind and do it themselves. So you have to be careful with who you share your dreams with. You have people that will try to, tear you down because you want to be the best hip hop star. You want to be the best actress, the best nurse. Whatever it is about your life, hold it to yourself between you and God, and only tell those people who are like roots in your life, who are going to help pray, who are going to help, steer you in the right direction, tell you when you're wrong, tell you when you're right, and who you need to look out for. Because when the things that I do now, I didn't have many examples except for those who've been doing a profession of interviewing for a long time. When I found out about podcasting, this has almost been 12, 15 years that it's been going on, if not longer. To do it now and just to come in and be able to have an ocean wave that stands high and is still standing high and people respect what you do. Just a real quick testimony. I'm in the Nike store with my kids, and I'm just doing my thing, trying to get my kids, shoes and clothes or whatever. And somebody recognized my voice. I got a mask on, got my hat on and glasses, and somebody say, "Hey, you that guy?" And I said, okay, yeah. He's like, "No, you do that radio show, the 407." I said, "Yeah, that's me." He's like, "Man," he said, "He said you did some, you interviewed, 2 people that I know." I said, "Yeah." I said, he said, "I'm an artist too." I said, "Listen, hit me up in a DM and let's set you up an interview." And that's probably going down on Friday, so y'all stay tuned for that. And then one thing is, when somebody recognizes what you do and they tell you they're proud of you, even if they don't know you,
Right.
The feeling of a stranger telling you something and they don't know you, but you get that feeling of warmness and excitement, like, man, I gotta keep going.
Right.
You take that and you hold on to it. It's people that you know that's close to you, that you want them to support you, you want them to get behind you, and then they don't. Like when I first started this thing, I was like, man, I'm telling everybody. And I didn't get the response that I thought I was gonna get. I didn't get the praises that I thought I would get. Like, man, we're proud of you, you know, keep doing your thing.
Right.
It was a whole nother wave, and it did make me feel a certain type of way, and I had to catch myself. Because, you know, my aunt, before she passed, used to tell me all the time, she said, baby, you can't tell everybody your dreams, and everybody's not gonna support you the way you want. But it's when the strangers of people that I don't know that came in that just ushered in a new wave of like, okay, y'all don't want to support, don't worry about it. You know, I mean, thousands of people that support me in what I do, and I don't even know them, but they watch and they listen every single day. It's like when I do the morning rise. It's something that I just came up, was getting on I-4, and I got up and I just said it. Then wasn't thinking about nothing. It was just expressing, you know, how good God is, and just something to motivate people. And I said, I'm gonna start doing the morning rise every day. And I do them enough to where it changes some. If it only affect one person, I did my job. So, you know, that's something that I really enjoy doing. So y'all can catch the morning rise 7 days a week. Sometimes I might not do it because God has something else for me to do, but more than likely you can catch the morning rise. And I'm gonna give you the topics of how it go down. Super Sunday, Motivation Monday, Talk About It Tuesday, What's Up Wednesday, Thoughtful Thursday, Freedom Friday, my #1 favorite, and the Slow Motion Saturday. When you just kick back, relax, and chill. You don't do nothing. That's all I can tell you.
Yes, sir. I want to ask you though, how did the pandemic?
Truck driver, and you know, when I started, when the pandemic happened, I was already home. I had just come off the road. I've been home for a little over a year now. That was last March. Before it happened, you know, life was great. You know, we had the death of Kobe in January, and you know, getting ready to move into having a newer president and whatnot. And when March happened, it was like, am I gonna still be able to work? I was gonna work with, you know, driving a truck. And to be honest, it didn't stop. It didn't slow down. I thought it would have, but I mean, trucks move the world. They move the country. Trucks and boats and trains move the world. So I'm happy to be a part of an industry that, you know, we look out for one another. You have a code, but you have a code that's more about helping each other and not, you know, steering people away from the truth. You tell them what it really is. It really didn't affect me as far as work, but what it did allow me to do as far as my business as being a podcaster, a host, an actor, it just shot it up. We started doing more work. We started doing more interviews. We started doing, taking in and giving more information and being able to put people on, whether they were first time or seasonal, it doesn't matter. But I will say, if this pandemic does not cause you to get out and write your book, to write that script, to put down in the studio, or to write your music, then you're wasting time. This is more, and I've said this so many times on my show, this is more of a preparation time. You should be busy doing something other than sitting around waiting to get a check, waiting around to find a job. You should be doing something more than just saying, I wish. Because you can wish all day, but until you put Tom and Jerry on the ground and picking up the phone and calling somebody and getting on the computer and looking up stuff, you're just wasting time. You're just existing. So if you're not, because a lot of people have said, like, if at the end of this thing, if you haven't become more of a thousandaire, a millionaire, or a billionaire, you're just sitting around waiting and wishing about everybody else's passing. And I think I take this quote from middle school, and one of my teachers had a quote of said that time will pass, will you? And I've never forgotten that. Time will pass, will you? In other words, are you going to keep moving with time? Because it don't stop. If you sit around and wait, you'll grow gray hair before it's time for you to grow gray hair, because you're either stressed, worried about whether you're going to get this, get that, who's going to help you. When if you get out and start something, somebody will see you. or you can ask. You can't be afraid to ask. You can't be afraid to step out on what you believe. Everybody had to believe. Right. Even the billionaires, they had to believe. Somebody told them no. Right. But you keep going until that one day that somebody says yes, because that one yes will cause a multiple streams of things for you to be able to do that you've been wanting to do. Right. So, you know, and that's why I don't take it for granted when somebody says they want to be on the show. You know, it's an opportunity for me, but it's more opportunity for them. Right. I'm looking to help somebody else. I'm not looking to steer my own boat because God already got where he wants me to go. He already has the people that I need to interview. So I don't take it for granted that, you know, if you're in this pandemic, you should be working. Whatever that work is, get out there and follow your dreams. Get out there and start doing the things that you want to do. Go live your life. We know how to operate now in the pandemic. Put your mask on, take your sanitizer with you, some special soap. Get on a plane and get to moving, because life is not going to stop. It is still functioning. It is still moving. It is doing things to people where they're able to see the vision that they had, that it felt like it kind of died and it came back because they were able to sit and think. And after they stopped thinking about it, they got to moving. So you have to get up and start moving. Don't allow this pandemic to cause you to feel like you can't do anything.
So I want to ask you, how many events have you hosted?
The many events that I've hosted, and I shouldn't say many, but it's more than 2, so it's many. It's about 4, and what I do for my events, I try to gather people together, whether it's at a skating ring, a bowling alley, out to eat gatherings where we probably hit iDrive or hit Universal City Walk and I call it an event because everybody's still on the edge about whether they want to get out the house, whether they want to travel. I even started these travel events where I'm asking people, and I try not to really boast it too much on social media. If you want to travel, you know, we have booking dates where somebody comes up with the idea to go to this state or this city to go and have fun for anywhere between 2 and 3 days. And that's pretty much all you need for once a month to get away so that you can refresh, rejuvenate, so you can come back and do it again. Things that you were doing before the pandemic hit in the first place. Right. So don't kill your dreams about traveling, just be safe about it.
Well, what do you like most about being a motivational speaker?
I think it's the impact to see lives change. To be able to steer people in the right direction, or help them to be steered in the right direction, to cause them to have a different perspective on life, to see that it's not just somebody saying words to you, it's the conviction that God is lining up with what you've already felt and what you already knew, but he's giving you you've heard it from a couple of different people, and then all of a sudden this one person comes in and says almost the same exact thing, but in a different way, and it catches fire. And all of a sudden now you see this person gets up and say, man, I just want to thank you. But it's really not me that you're thanking. You're thanking God for being able to line us up together for you to come to a place to hear something that'll change your life and change mine, because it changes mine by being able to, you know, to hear somebody say, thank you, I appreciate what you said, that enlightened me a whole lot. But it also changes their lives because now they get up and they get to walk in their purpose. They get to walk in their destiny. And for most people, if you don't know, that is my actual name. It's just spelled with an I. My real name is Destiny. Wow. Check that out. So, you know, my purpose in life is really about helping others. It's really about uplifting others. So when I get up on that stage and I get that mic, which sometimes I don't even need a mic because I was always told I have a microphone voice. So when I'm up there, I'm looking at everybody, but I also know this is not about me. It's not me that they're looking at who God is working through. I'm a vessel to be able to, you know, inspire somebody else to say, hey, you can get out there and do it. If God can do it for me, he can do it for you too.
How does it feel to wake up every day, traveling the world and doing what you love?
There's really no, my daughter. I put this thing on do not. I'm about to put her on block. And she's, look at this. You see this right here? Yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm live on my camera on the interview, and I'm about to block my daughter. You hear me? when she's only 3 and she has a phone, why a 3-year-old has a phone to be able to FaceTime her father at any point in time, I don't know. Maybe because I'm a truck man. All right. So to really answer that question, oh my God. To really answer that question, to be able to do what you love and love what you do, I swear this messing my whole interview up right here. I put it on Do Not Disturb, and she's still getting through. Blame it on the boogie. To be able to travel and be recognized for what you do, to be able to travel in any length, in any space and time, it's an amazing feeling. I can't tell you that every travel is always amazing, because there are times that, you know, I get places and I get that kind of like a stale feeling. Like, I remember the first time I moved to California. Man, I was so excited to be there.
Cali.
But I was missing home right away. I cried like a baby. I'm like, why am I crying? But then I thought about it and say, man, I left my kids, left my mom, my grandmother, my aunt, my siblings. But then I realized what I moved to California for. It was never to actually leave them and not come back. It was, I was chasing after my dream. I was going after what I believed in. And every state and city that I've been in has been amazing. The people, I think what I love most about the travel and being able to go places like that is being able to see a different face everywhere you go, have different conversations that impact you and you impact them, and you spread what I call a domino effect of love, of inspiration, of gratification, being grateful, that you're able to just stand tall in what you believe in, and to just be able to go and travel the world, to be able to go travel the country and set the standard of, you see a lot of people who are celebrities, you see a lot of people who have this, that, and the other. But what you don't get to see is the true them. You only get to see what the camera shows you.
Right.
It's not until the cameras and the lights go off and everybody go home, you find out who they really are. And that's when you have to know for yourself that I'm doing this because of what? I'm doing this because of who? And for me, I grab hold to people, and I love being around people. Meeting new people is an excitement. I can travel by myself with no friends, no family, and have the most amazing time, because I'm going to talk, I'm going to introduce myself, and somebody may say something to me, and we catch the most amazing conversation, and when we leave, we're like, man, that was really dope. So, and it feels good. I mean, you leave it, I mean, when you're in this world and you're on your journey, leave an imprint and be impactful to the many people who are gonna be inspired or look up to you. Because once you leave this earth, only thing that people remember more is your dash. Not the day and not the year that you were born, not the year that you died. They're gonna remember that dash that's on your gravestone. And that dash says, Caliboy Jones did this. Caliboy Jones wrote this. Caliboy Jones said this. You can put your name in there. What will people remember you by? You know, will they remember you how gentle you were with the children, how you showed compassion to the many people that came in your path, how you were a worshiper, a person who loved to cook, a person who loved to travel, a person who loved music. What will people remember you for? And hey, this is Caliboy Jones, and you're watching Lost Roots Network, and I just got my first interview.